Calfhood Management scours the latest news, market information, bull sale reports. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Erhardt.
And I'm Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck.
A big thank you goes out to our partners, Keller Broken Heart Ranch, Pharmatan and Imogene Ingredients, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange and the Fence Post, Westway Feed Products, Allied Genetic Resources, Livestock Market, Equine Market, and AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, the Cowboy Channel, and Wrangler. Cow Country News, you know, the cow stuff.
Our top news story, Brazil announced it is suspending exports of beef to China due to a case of bovine spongiform encephalitis, or BSE, multiple news outlets reported. Announced by Brazil's agricultural ministry, the halt in beef shipments to the country's largest buyer is intended to be temporary and was set in motion by an animal health pact between the two nations, this according to Reuters. According to Brazil's agriculture and livestock minister, all measures are being taken immediately at each stage of the investigation, and the matter is being handled with total transparency to guarantee Brazilian and global consumers the recognized quality of our meat. The BSE case was confirmed by the Agricultural Defense Agency last week. The symptomology indicates that it is the atypical form of the disease, which appears spontaneously in nature, causing no risk of dissemination to the herd and to humans, the agency said in a statement. Brazil has alerted the World Organization for Animal Health and shipped samples to Canada to be tested. 2 cases of BSE in 2021 set off a suspension in beef exports to China that persisted for more than 3 months. Earlier in the week, the Philippines suspended beef imports from the Netherlands after a BSE detection. Next, according to meetingplace.com, drought-accelerated herd liquidation over the past 2 years has made the beef cow herd the smallest in 61 years. With continuing drought conditions, it is uncertain when, but it is certain that there should be strong interest in rebuilding the herd whenever conditions permit. Leaving aside the question of more drought, what is possible in 2023 given current availability of replacement heifers? The number of beef replacement heifers on January 1st, 2023 was 5.16 million head, down 5.8% year over year. The numbers suggest that beef cow herd expansion is not possible in 2023. The available number of bred heifers, combined with a decrease in beef cow slaughter in excess of 20% year over year, might make it possible to hold the beef cow herd steady this year. A low-level additional herd liquidation is more likely. More likely in 2023 is increased retention of heifer calves and breeding of yearling heifers that will fuel herd expansion beginning in 2024. If that happens, both beef cow and heifer slaughter will decrease sharply in 2023. In our third and final story, Maeve Webster, head of food and menu consultancy Menu Matters, constantly checks the pulse of the consumer and tracks trends that affect not only restaurants, but the food companies that supply the restaurants. In considering how those consumer shifts affect meat processors, Webster detailed 3 trends that processors should watch: the persistence of home cooking, nostalgia as a marketing message, and what to do about the metaverse. And these are the 3 trends that we will be following as we move into spring in just a few weeks and grilling season gets amped up.
Our bull sale report is going to start with Wassum Red Angus, their 11th annual production sale in Richardson, North Dakota. 54 bulls averaging $56.20, 10 registered bred heifers coming in at $25.20, and then 70 commercial open heifers at $18.75. Coleman Angus and Trexler Angus, their annual production sale, 6 herd bulls average. The average of 6, $102,500 with a sale top of $150,000. 86 18-month-old bulls coming in with an average of $90.81. 89 yearling bulls averaging $10,494, bringing our grand total of 175 bulls averaging $9,800. Schnabel Ranch Simmentals in Aberdeen, South Dakota, the bulls averaging $56.84, with the tops coming in at $11,500, $11,000, and $10,500. Guston's Diamond D Gelvy Ranch, 85 bulls coming in with an average of 58.77. 30 registered bred heifers coming in with an average of 27.06 with a sale top of $19,000. Taubenheim Gelvy and their 33rd annual production sale in Amherst, Nebraska. 104 Gelvy and Balancer bulls coming in with an average of 61.90. 46 bred heifers with an average of 23.90. Their top, $19,000. The Sandhill Source annual production sale, 132 yearling Angus bulls averaging 86.61 with a sale top of $31,000. The R. Lazy B Ranch annual production sale, Aberdeen, South Dakota, sold 66 yearling Charolais bulls, averaging 66.51. The Tokash Angus Ranch and their 48th annual production sale in Mandan, North Dakota, 112 bulls, coming in with an average of 53.79. 30 registered bred heifers with an average of 32.73. 28 commercial breds coming in with an average of 29.50. And the Wendt Ranch's first annual Super Santa sale in Bay City, Texas, featuring Santa Gertrudis and American Red genetics. 7 bred females coming in with an average of 77.50, and then 18 open heifers with an average of 49.30. 44 farms from Cameron, Texas, 545 lots coming in with an average of 97.63. And then we're going to wrap up our bull sale report with the Brian Oswald family and the High Points Genetics sale, 143 bulls averaging 83.14. And some feeder calf sales to report on today, going to Oakley Livestock Commission Company in Oakley, Kansas. Some Charolais Cross, some bigger heifers, 864 weights. These are Char Crosses at $1.67.5. Here is a group of some 6 weights, black and baldy heifers, coming in at $1.93. On to the steer side, some Charolais Cross steers at Oakley, Kansas. These are 913 weights, coming in at $1.78.75, all the way down to some 627 weight blacks and baldy steers at $211.50. And wrapping up with Stockman's Livestock in Yankton, South Dakota, we're talking fat cattle, we're talking steers, we're talking blacks, we're talking 1,200 pounds coming in, y'all sitting down for this one, at $1.66. Now, before we head to break, a number of you have been asking me to report on potential jobs that are available, kind of some of the elite of the elite. Now, here's a few that have crossed our desk and our attention. At the American Gelvy Association, they are seeking a highly motivated student for their summer internship. You're going to want to go to gelvy.org for more information. That job is located at the AGA headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Also on the association side, going to the Red Angus Association of America. They are seeking a membership and receivables specialist, also a communication coordinator, both full-time positions. For more information, just head to redangus.org. Now, if there are some jobs that you are looking for, or if there are some that you have available and you would like to pass along, give us a shout at any time at 707-RANCH20. You can text me there. You can email me at ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Coming up, we're talking calfhood immunity, keeping the little buggers healthy. Now that so many of us are into calving season, stick around. We've got a lot more. The Ranch It Up radio show is coming up right after this. Can I interest you in live calves this winter and spring? How about getting rid of scours? I've talked about Pharmatan from Imogene Ingredients before, and I'm bringing it up now because your cows need to have Pharmatan in their system 90 days pre-calving to help eliminate scours. Pharmatan is now on my team of experts, so if you need some more information or have questions, just get a hold of me. You can head online to PharmatanUSA.com. You can look up Pharmatan on Facebook and Imogene Ingredients, or call 515-745-1639.
We are a Westway feed family of nearly 300 people working together to deliver over 2 million tons of product to our customers annually.
We are Westway, together as a team. We're working together to do great things to feed the people of this country.
At Westway, yes, it's about our feed, but it starts with passion.
LivestockMarket.com is the go-to online marketplace for livestock, horses, hay, and straw. Sales manager Mark Vanzi tells us how easy it is to use.
Cattleman can take photographs, videotape his own calves. He can upload them directly to the site. He can sell them private treaty. He can sell them on the online auction. The biggest principle behind the whole LivestockMarket.com concept is producer has complete control.
The online platform that works without all the restrictions. LivestockMarket.com on Facebook, too. The Ranch It Up radio show, as much information as we can pack into a 30-minute program as possible. Spring calving season has begun for many producers across cow country. Some started a while back. Some may not start for a while, but regardless, calfhood immunity and having a live, healthy calf is where it all starts. Now, we know that, but what can we do for our calfhood management? How can we make our management maybe a little bit better? Dr. Thatch Winslow, beef cattle veterinarian with Elanco Animal Health.
Calf health is management. It's husbandry, right? So one thing we need to pay the most attention to is the cow nutrition from now forward, right? We need to make sure that cow's in a positive plane of nutrition, not just for her calf and making her colostrum and all that, but also for getting her bred back. So nutrition and management is a big part. Vaccines and products that we can give that can enhance management. And some of that would have been done prior, but as we looking forward, I think it's critical to get a modified live vaccine in calves at branding or later. And I think that's important. It stimulates both sides of the immune system.
Now, given that, and now let's jump forward and let's go all the way into fall. And we're pregging those cows, and now we want to start to be proactive instead of reactive. What do we do with those cows when we're starting to make that sort of bredder open that we can start setting those cows up, inadvertently setting those calves up for success?
Let's jump ahead, if we can, on those cows, bredder open, because that's a big part of it, right?
Right, yeah.
And so in some parts of the country, cows go through the chute once a year, preg check, that's it. But if they're going through the chute in springtime, pre-breeding, and we can get a killed vaccine to booster them, that's going to set them up better, and better than the modified lives. The peri work we've seen is that a modified live given too close to breeding will decrease conception rates.
Really?
Yes. We're seeing on first heat conception or AI conception rates a 6.5% difference in conception rate using a killed over a modified live in that pre-breeding 45-day window. So let's make sure we're using the right products, the right type of products in those cows, to make sure we have less open ones. And then again, as we get into preg check time, what are we going to do? If they did get a vaccine pre-breeding, then we're probably good on our virals. We definitely want to get a lepto vaccine, and then as we get a little bit closer to calving, a scours vaccine, and if scours are of concern.
How important is it to have a relationship with our veterinarian? Really, how important is it to be working with me before the problem starts in the first darn place?
No, I'm glad you asked.
Paramount, right?
Yes, because I almost teed it off with that, and I just got ahead of myself. But absolutely, the most important thing you can do is work with your veterinarian. Not only are they trained and they have the experience, but they know the area, they know the region, they know the local herds and what problems they've been seeing, they know the weather conditions. So they have to be not just the one that's doing C-sections, not just the one that's doing your semen testing. They need to be very involved in your management, vaccination protocols, or I would say vaccination programs, because a protocol is written on a piece of paper and we imply that it works for everybody.
Right.
And it doesn't. Every operation is going to be slightly different, and your veterinarian is going to be a critical component to that. A veterinarian cannot be successful unless his producers are successful.
How can Elanco Animal Health come in and help fill that void that we may be having in our operations? And bring it all together, maybe, that missing puzzle piece.
Yeah, so we never want to sidestep or work around a veterinarian, so we will work with veterinarians and help them. Again, the peri work that you weren't aware of, we'll introduce that information to them, show them options that they have to use with their customers. And if for some reason they just don't have a veterinarian, please reach out to us. We'll either work with them or we'll find them a veterinarian.
Thank you for that, Dr. Thatch. You can reach out to Thatch at any time if you have questions. Feel free to reach out to Beck and I as well, and we can get you in touch with whomever you may need. Now, on to more managing calf health. Pharmatan. Let's eliminate those scours. Let's get control of it. Now, we have been pushing for the past couple of years our campaign on awareness about feeding Pharmatan in the cow's diet and getting into the cows 60 to 90 days prior to calving, which is optimal. And we continue to have exceptional results and success with Pharma10. But what if we did not get into this protocol? What if we didn't get into the program soon enough? What if we didn't get Pharma10 into our cows 60 or 90 days prior to calving? Is there another option? What if we have some scours showing up? Paul Mitchell with Pharma10.
Tigger, the best thing that we recommend when guys call late is to, number one, understand what is the nature of the scours. So try and get it tested. But the broadest spectrum we have for calves that have broken is the Thrive Drench with Pharma10 in it. It's a combination of Pharma10, tannic acid, and butyrate. It's an excellent product to stabilize the gut in a scour condition. It's broad spectrum, but it's not a cure. I mean, you're making the best of a bad situation, and we don't try to make any claims on it. But it is a very good immune stimulant, or it's a good healthy tonic for the calf, and it's as black as ink. So it'll actually it'll stain that gut lining and hopefully try and stabilize that scour position.
So what are we talking for dollar amount that we might be spending on those calves?
That drench is going to run you right under $1 a dose. For a feedlot, if you're bringing cattle into the feedlot, for a baby calf, you're even less than that. You're at about 30 to 40 cents.
And again, no claims on that, but this could be a situation where, okay, you go out, you get it tested, this is what you're dealing with. So for literally less than 4 bits, you could have the potential to and that calf is always going to be suffering after that. We know that those calves are going to turn into your PIs. I mean, that's just what happens. But I mean, we have it for literally a few cents, the opportunity to get that calf over the hump and at least give that bugger a little bit of a fighting chance versus the alternative, right?
Yeah, Tigger, the guys that have really had good success with this is where they're buying high-risk calves, bringing them into the feedlot. We'll run that drench, dose them on the way in, and then it's water soluble, and it's organic acid. So it's butyrate, it's tannic acid. There's some other elements in there. Very, very good for the calf to help get them settled down. And we've got feedlots that have that in their water tanks as a standard on the way in to try and settle them down after landing. Especially if they've come through a sale barn, they've picked up every pathogen. But a baby calf out on range, if you haven't had the cows on Pharma10, that drench is a very good alternative. But it's as you said, it's a little bit after the fact and better off get on the prevention program.
Thrive Drench, where do we go and where do we get it?
You can get that through our website. Go to pharma10usa.com. Valley Vet is carrying a number of our products as well. We've got Thrive Calf Paste on there. It's an antibody paste with bacillus and tannin. That is a very good paste, and we have a bolus version as well. You're looking at about high dosage of antibodies and bacillus in each of those paste and bolus products. And you can go to Valley Vet, or you can go on our website. You'll see it as well.
Pharma10usa.com for more information. And one more time, you can holler at Beck and I, and we will get your questions answered. ranchitupshow@gmail.com, 707-RANCH20. You can call or text 707-RANCH20 at Ranch It Up Show on Facebook and on Instagram. Markets and numbers and Kirk when we come back. Neogen. They're the partner you maybe didn't consider or never knew you needed for your outfit.
We are very deep with providing genomic testing to all facets of production. We are very involved in biosecurity and animal safety. Again, all along the chain, and we can add value there. So if you have questions or concerns, contact your animal health distributor. Contact us directly. Go to neogen.com. We're more than happy to help.
Neogen. They're the partner you know you need, and now you have.
Watch RFD TV anytime, anywhere on all your connected devices with RFD TV Now. Simply go to watchrfdtv.com and sign up for just $9.99 a month, or save more and pay just $89.99 for the year. You can begin streaming RFD TV live right away and have access to your favorite shows 24/7 on demand. Go to watchrfdtv.com, sign up, and start streaming today.
The Tri-State Livestock News, what ranchers read. Stop by your local sale barn or livestock center and grab the latest issue of the Tri-State Livestock News.
From the latest cattle market reports to various news stories within the ag industry, the Tri-State Livestock News covers it all. You can also check us out at tsln.com. And for those of you that might be interested in subscriptions or advertising, please give me a call, Tracy Hawk, at 406-951-3211. The Tri-State Livestock News, what ranchers read.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for staying with us. It's that time in the program we check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated. For those of you just finding us for the first time, maybe it'd be the second time, and we've talked about this, and maybe I haven't mentioned it here for a few weeks, but you can get more information in a way to kind of start this whole communication thing with Kirk, to start things rolling. The best way that we say is to start getting his free newsletter, which comes out about every Sunday evening, Monday morning, right in there. And you can text the word cattle, CATTLE, to 33777, and you can start getting a whole lot more information and more of the reasons why of what we're talking about each and every week. So, Kirk, with that, there's your free plug. How are you, my friend?
No, very good, and always appreciate the plug, Tigger.
You bet. So what's going on? Let's wrap up last week, and I know we talked about this time of year seasonally. We see a big kind of jump in the market. We see a lot of times people get optimistic during bull selling and buying season that feeders kind of start to pop up. But boy, oh boy, I mean, I'm starting to get a little spring in my steps thinking, at least if I'm on the selling side, this could be pretty darn decent.
Definitely getting some very, very high prices. Feels good for the sellers for sure.
It feels good for the soul in the pocketbook and the banker at times too. So let's wrap up last week. What do the numbers look like?
As of February 24th, March feeders closed at $189.12.5. That's up $2.60 on the week, with the CME feeder index at 182.77, up only 14 cents. Our listeners will notice that the basis is getting pretty wide, or the difference between futures and cash, at a negative $6.30.5. We did have a cattle on feed report. Cattle on feed came in at 95.9 versus expectations of 96.5%. Placed was 96.4% versus expectations of 97.2%, and marketed was 104.2% versus 103.9%. So definitely a supportive cattle on feed report. We also had a BSE case in Brazil. It was an atypical, naturally occurring case in geriatric animals. I found that word quite humorous when speaking of animals. I've never heard that said that way.
I got a kick out of reading that too. Yeah.
Right. The market did respond positively a little bit. The exports to China from Brazil were shut off. I will note for the listeners that the last time this happened, and it was an atypical case, the U.S. did not close their borders, and China did. In this case, I'm expecting China to kind of wait for the confirmation from the labs in China, and then probably resume normalized trade if it is atypical. April live futures closed at 165.50 this week. That's up 80 cents on the week, with cash trading 164 to 164.5. That leaves our 5-area weighted average at 163.65, up $2.94 on the week. So a good cash week. Our basis is negative 60 cents versus February futures, where you would expect it. The weekly slaughter was lower at 618,000. That's 9,000 below last week and 23,000 below this week last year. Choice boxes printed 287.28, so dang near 290. That's up $6.24 on the week. Our spread did narrow, though. It narrowed $4.95 to $10.20. So again, if you remember last time we were talking about the spread, kind of an indication that demand might be struggling just a little bit at these high prices. The estimated spot packer margin is at $150 with the higher box prices. Finish this up. March corn closed the week at $6.50. That's down 27.75 cents on the week. The market broke on news from Ag Forum that increased corn acres to 91 million with a 181.5 baseline yield. And that did do some pretty significant technical damage to the corn charts this week.
Hey all, Mark Van Zee with LivestockMarket.com. Coming up this Wednesday, March 8th, we have our monthly small livestock online auction. Bidding opens at just $10 a head, no reserves. All lots will sell. Over 250 head of commercial Dorper sheep and Boer goats. Featured lots include 75 purebred Dorper bred ewes. Rams were turned out on December 1st. They'll start lambing May 1st. Bred to Dorper and Dorper St. Croix rams. Good young set of running age sheep from Fiera Landing Cattle in Queen Valley, Arizona. 14 Barbados black belly exposed ewe lambs. Running age or younger, been exposed to Dorper cross rams from Brantley Auctions in Modesto, California. 20 Dorper replacement ewe lambs, 60 to 90 days old, black-headed traditional color, average 65 pounds from Brantley Auctions in Modesto, California. 20 Dorper aged ewes, all open, 4+ years old, just pulled off the lambs from DFA'd Livestock in Snyder, Texas. 40 purebred boar bred does, good younger nannies, good bags and feet. 2 boar billies were turned out on December 1st. They'll start kidding on May 1st from Fairland and Cattle in Queen Valley, Arizona. Plus over 30 winter-born show pigs, all selling on individual lots from some of the top breeders in the Midwest and South Central U.S. Crossbreds, Hamps, Spots, Durocs, and more, all ready to take you on your next trip to the backdrop this spring. Bidding is currently live, but all lots will close the morning of Wednesday, March 8th. Got sheep, goats, or pigs to sell? Regular small livestock online auctions the second Wednesday of every month on livestockmarket.com and auctiontime.com.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
Before we say fare thee well, one final tip of the hat. With all the radical weather we have been having, from blizzards to tornadoes to excessive rain, we want to make sure to thank those who are making sure the power gets turned back on, roads are cleared, and our families are safe.
And now that's going to wrap it for today. A big thank you from our crew to yours, Dr. Thatch Winslow with Elanco Animal Health, Paul Mitchell with Pharmatan USA, Mark Vanzi with LivestockMarket.com, Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, and the Boss Lady back in the driver's chair.
A big thank you to our partners, Keller Broken Heart Ranch, Pharmatan and Imogene Ingredients, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange and the Fence Post, Westway Feed Products, LI Genetic Resources, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, the Cowboy Channel, and Wrangler.
And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to follow and like us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Our email is ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call and text us 24/7 at 707-RANCH20. That's 707-726-2420. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger approved.
Stay ranchy and ranch it up.